See, as Drama Matt's practicing his deep throat face. Have you heard that Nancy Reagan was a throat goat?
It's true.
Hello and welcome to episode 131 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I am joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
I am also joined in person by the pleasurable, the deliverable, don't know what that means, Drumble Matt. Say hello.
Hello.
Drumble Matt.
Is that what I said?
Yep.
Drumble Matt.
Canon.
How is you today? See, because I've forgotten how to speak English.
I'm good, and this is already a disaster.
Yeah.
How are you, Web?
I'm okay. Yeah, if people didn't get that, we're recording all in person for the first time in quite a while, which is why it sounds like it does, and why we're going to have even less focus than normal. So enjoy that, listener.
Also, I'm fine.
Are you? Are
No.
you sure?
Am I ever fine?
Fair.
What have you, lovely... Wait a minute, no, there's something I should say.
Which where we ask you what you've been doing, because the notes say that you are going to be speaking first.
Hi, everyone. Professional podcasters, 131 episodes.
Okay, forget the last 30 seconds. Snipe, what have you been doing?
Oh, mate. I've decided that I have found this new form of yoga called Snoga. Now, it's not anything to do with, ice or cold weather or anything. It's basically where you slather your body in Vaseline and just try and stay still. You try and hold a pose, and it's very sensual.
Why is it called Snoga, then?
Because it's snail yoga.
Oh, okay.
Also, there is Snantric Snex as well, which is very confusing.
That sounds very... Is that only for experienced snursons?
I was doing pretty good keeping a straight face, but experienced snursons fucking got me. Yes, it's only for very experienced snursons and practitioners of Snantric Snex.
When you're not lying, what else have you been up to?
You don't know I haven't been doing that.
I have not been finding empty bottles of Vaseline everywhere,
No,
and the recycling hasn't been taken yet because it's Christmas.
Well, maybe.
So I know you haven't been using
I'm
it.
doing it at a drummer's house.
He's in Bristol.
Yeah, that's why I'm gone most of the fucking day.
Okay.
I've not been there for a little while.
Yeah.
What am I going to find jammed through the letterbox?
About 48 empty kilogram tubs of Vaseline and 47 cease and desists and one thank you note. Apart from that, which has kept me pretty busy, let's be honest.
Yeah, the travelling time alone is
it's all downhill to Bristol, so I just
You just ride the Vaseline.
Yeah, I just run up and I'm just like, meow. It's difficult stopping at traffic lights and stuff.
So getting going's easy. The stopping is difficult.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that Drummer Matt has what's that big rubber fist you left outside of your front door? I slam into that and it stops me from cracking teeth, which I'm very grateful of. Please don't move it, please.
It's a door knocker.
It's a big sex fist. Can you imagine?
What if you replace your door knocker with a big romantic rubber fist?
Yeah. Can you imagine the punk noise it would make if the postman's knocking on the door?
Especially because you lube it up each morning.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been doing, so you're welcome, Drummer Matt. No thanks here. I mean, I have been lubing myself up and down your stairs for the past 3 months, but apart from that...
I will say this is a masterful cover for the fact you only have one thing written down your notes.
I hate that you all can see my notes and know that I'm, fluffing for time. But not intentionally. I just think that I want to share the enlightening experience of Snoga.
What?
Snoga.
Oh, you remember what it was called? I'm genuinely impressed.
And Snantric Snex.
Someone should make a note of Snantric Snex. That's probably going to be the title of this episode.
Okay, yeah. But I'm going to forget in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, have my notepad.
Okay.
Well, dears, I have not been doing much because Christmas is everything, and it's like everything is on fire and screaming, and so I've not been doing anything really new, but I have been playing SWTOR, or Star Wars, The Old Republic, which is, it was originally a paid game that came out. It was like a paid MMO, massively multiplayer online RPG. And then it went free to play. And I've been playing...
I thought you were paying per month.
I am, but you can. You can pay per month. You get kind of like more benefits if you pay. And you get like 500 free premium currency per month if you're a subscriber.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because there's a lot of things like, customizations or transmogs.
You did have a Tauntaun mount, and
that was a promotional thing, and I've got
I've got
a Tauntaun mount, and I'm pretty happy about it. And yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and I love it because fuck Blizzard.
Yeah,
and I have been having an itch to play like a MMORPG, but also like the story is like fully voiced. So it's like Mass Effect story, but with WoW gameplay. And I'm like, this is perfect for me.
I will be honest, like you say that, and I am going, so it's worse Mass Effect.
Okay, can you say that when comparing it to Mass Effect 1?
Yes, 100. Whoa! The gameplay of WoW is measurably worse than Mass Effect 1.
Okay, but it works.
Oh,
it's just a MMORPG, go out and kill 25 fucking reeks or whatever.
Pigs.
The gameplay
that sounds racist. Ooh, space pigs. Do not portmanteau it. It doesn't make anyone sound or feel good.
I do feel that the gameplay of an MMO is not quite as important as it is in a single player game.
No.
It's more about making bars go
I
up.
like getting numbers and then making those numbers get bigger.
Yeah, and MMO like gameplay is perfect for that.
Yeah.
So
no,
yes.
it is, and then like the story mode is like fully voiced, and yeah, it does have the weird Mass Effect kind of in Star Trek where they they get hit by like torpedoes and they just kind of throw themselves around weirdly.
Yes.
It's that kind of like physical acting, but the voice acting is really good and I really like it. And I'm currently playing through the Sith Juggernaut, who is a pureblood Sith. Which you don't really see those very often.
Yeah, not a common sight.
Not a common sight. And I have also unlocked that with premium currency because I wanted... Oh no, I unlocked with premium currency that I saved up because I forgot that I was paying monthly for it and didn't play it for like 6 months.
That's how they get you.
Yep. But I mean, I got like 3,000 premium bucks at the end of it and I was like, okay, that's good.
So it's not all bad.
Yeah. So I unlocked Chiss.
Ah, yeah.
And I now have a Jedi Chiss because it's just funny to me because they're like the only official allies of the Imperial... I mean, I don't know anything about Star Trek. Never heard of it before. I'm not wearing Star Trek pajamas. Or have... Well, that's actually true. I'm not wearing Star Trek pajamas.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. And I won't. I won't ever wear Star Trek pajamas.
Star Wars, on the other hand. I don't really know much about the Old Republic stuff, if I'm honest.
That's fine.
So yeah, you could tell me anything about the story of Old Republic era stuff, and I just go, yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, and they all say Wibb's a stinky butt face. I don't know what that is. I think that's just like, it's Chiss for Wibb's a stinky butt face.
That checks out.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this is me misremembering, but I thought that Chiss didn't really do Force users very much. I thought they lost the ability when they were younger because they have they have Skywalkers that are like their navigators. They're kind of like Dune navigators, but they don't turn into giant weird...
They're called Skywalkers.
Yes.
No relation.
It translates to Skywalker. I might be getting this hideously wrong. If I am, don't worry. You don't have to correct me in the comments because I don't care.
In fact, do correct him in the comments because we because we need to praise the algorithm.
Oh yeah, actually, correct me all you want. Do it in the comments. Just no, I won't be reading them.
I always read the the podcast comments because it's not as wildly popular as all of our other stuff, and that means we don't have people calling me fat and gay or whatever. Which is kind of nice, that not to have people just trying to insult me all the time.
Yeah.
Even though there's nothing wrong with being fat and gay, but it's they think it is, and it's gross that these people
they are trying to use those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, all right. But yes, I've been playing through, and that's been really fun. I've been flirting with people NPCs, not actual people. Ugh. People. And making them very uncomfortable, which is very... I've been lipping my my master, because I'm a Sith's apprentice, and I'm just like he was like, apprentice, go down to... Oh, what was it? It was Alderaan. It's like, go to Alderaan and hunt down this person, I want you to. And I just turn around and go, you speak big, and you do think you can tell me what to do, can't you? And he was like... Listen here, you little shit. Which is really funny, because you can romance crewmates. And I was there's like a guy on my crew called Quinn, who's like super he loves the Imperium. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. He loves the Imperial forces. He's like jacking off to it and everything. And like, I've just been hitting on him constantly, and he's like, thanks, I think. And he's just such a sheltered nerd. He doesn't know how to respond, and he's like when he first joined my crew, he was like, my lord, I was wondering if you'd let me have a look at your defense systems. To which I turned around and said, well, if you can make it dodge as well as you've been dodging my advances, we should have like no problem. And he was like, I'm here to do a job. And I was like, okay, I'll let you off. But no, it's like, I like it how, because obviously if this was a real Star Wars thing, that Sith, that Darth Barris would have fucking murdered me the moment I was like, guess what? You're a stinky butt face. And he would have just crushed my fucking spine. But because it's, I'm the main character and I have plot armor, I can be like, haha, you have a stupid mask that makes you look silly, and also everyone says that you sound like a very slow duck fart. And he can't kill me, which is pretty fun.
It's amazing that they coded that response.
It is, verbatim. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. I've been trying to figure it out, because there's, especially with an MMO that's been going as long as that, there's so much to take in. And especially because I'm used to WoW. That was my MMO of choice.
I mean, I know that every time I've gone back and tried to play more Star Trek Online with like my original character, I just get more and more confused because they've added like 3 more layers of new things on top of what I was already kind of overwhelmed with.
Yep.
So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's a bit much. But yeah, no, I've been having a lot of fun. It's very fun.
Cool.
And I can see I'm boring Drumbly Bum. Wow. Wow. I mean, fair, but ouch. Okay. Well, Drummer Matt.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Well, I mean...
I'm so bored. Oh my god, falling asleep.
But now I'm panicking more than you, because I've got less in my notes written than you have.
You don't have anything in your notes.
No, exactly, yeah. But I have been doing some stuff. What have I been doing? Let's start with TV. Oh, I've been watching. So, I'll go to daytime distract for little on TV series at the moment, because they're into cars quite a lot. We found a series on Netflix called Rust Bros, or was it called Rust Valley Restorers, and the company's Rust Bros? I don't know. I can't remember exactly.
It sounds like it's basically I read once.
Some 60-odd-year-old Canadian bloke lives in a place called Rust Valley in Canada. And and him and his mate and his kid, well, he's got a whole 400 cars from the past, anywhere between the 30s and the 70s, that he's just collected over his lifetime, and he doesn't know what to do with because he likes them, but they're all rusty, as the name suggests. And it's just him and his mate and his brother slowly restoring these things, sort of like Pimp My Ride crossed with other reality TV type.
Sounds pretty great.
Well, it's reality TV.
Oh,
basically.
Okay. I thought this was like a kids'
show.
That sounds like a really boring.
No. Little one just sits there and goes bum 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 and looks at the cars, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, you probably could get that effect
satisfying.
by opening the window and just being like, "Look, don't have to pay a TV license for that."
Don't have to pay a TV license for Netflix.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's weirdly satisfying. Apart from, so they make it into this every single week, like. Suddenly there's like a money issue, or there's something that means that they're going to go bust. And everything is the end of the world.
Someone's been stealing all of our Vaseline,
there's another one. It's his mate who lives down the road. It's called Rust Valley because there's loads of people who are into old cars, and they have loads of car shows there, and there's loads of companies that do this sort of thing. And like they went into a metal shop to buy like a bit of sheet metal to do some weld or something, and they were like, "Oh, you said yesterday it was all here." It's like, "Oh yeah, someone came in and bought it all." And they're like, oh, what's that sticker up there? And point to like the top rack of something, and it's a sticker of his mate's company. You're like, oh, I bet it was that. And it's like, well, yeah, because you've also got cameras at your mate's company that are filming them do it because they were doing the co-op for the same like race or competition or something. It's like, you just don't have to so transparently manufacture the like. You just don't. I just want to watch the TV show where you make old cars look cool again, like you don't need the drama, but it's quite adorable because in the nicest possible way they're Canadian and really adorable about the drama.
It's like,
so it's like the least tension.
I gotta say, Bill, I'm not pleased. I respect your feelings, Todd.
This seems like, get it a little bit further. Wait till they're a little bit older, and you might be able to get away with putting something like Scrap Heap Challenge on.
Ah, yes, that would be good.
You two are so.
Bobby
definitely Lou. British.
Scrap Heap Challenge is fucking great.
It's boring. I mean, the best part of it was that guy, the Crichton, sitting in a trolley throwing potatoes out of it in a car park. Was that Scrap Heap Challenge?
It was. Robert Llewellyn did explain how thrust works by sitting in a trolley throwing potatoes out of it, yes.
You now imagining Crichton thrusting.
Yeah. I can't hear the word thrust without giggling.
With his groinal attachment.
Yeah. Does that play AM or FM?
That's his nipples.
Oh. So I'm thinking about that.
Yeah. And he'll get a double Polaroid by thinking about a washing machine.
I mean, who doesn't?
These are just references to Red Dwarf. Yeah. Are you excited by this, listener? Is this good for you?
Hello, millennials.
Content.
Do you remember thing? Like, comment, subscribe.
Do you remember when he was our Rob or Ross? that was a fun thing that didn't really make a lot of sense. It's a play on Ouroboros or Ouroboros, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Because Lister's like a holding pattern for humanity. Because he is his own dad and keeps going back in time to put himself.
I'm my own dad.
Putting his baby self back in time, and it's just an endless loop.
I thought it was going to be this horrifying thing if he has to keep going back and shagging his mother.
No,
because that would be so not comedy.
Although they did do a callback episode, like in one of the more recent series, where in order to give himself, like on his birthday, he gets blind bastard drunk like the day before, so he can leave a message from his dad to him that he won't remember because he gets so drunk. Red Dwarf. It's a show that exists, and he's somehow still going.
Yeah, on and off.
And it's not super terrible. Like now, it's not as bad as it was. Series 8 was the absolute nadir of it, and it was fucking appalling. And the more recent stuff hasn't been as bad, although I haven't seen all of it. So maybe there is some really terrible stuff in there. But I don't know.
Wibble it just a little bit. I'm going to commend you on a very interesting, what's the word?
Interruption?
No.
Sidebar.
Link. A fully intended link, because Chris Barry, the man who plays Rimmer, is obsessed with old cars, and you could show him basically any like little square picture of one, and he'll tell you the make, model, and year.
Huh. Yes, there was a. So for people,
he's just that fucking butt. No, I'm joking.
For people that don't live in Britain, this might be a bit of a tenuous thing, but there's like the panel shows like Nevermind the Buzzcocks and Mock the Week. Have I got news for you? All those kind of things, and they'd have like there's occasional ones that are like very themed on a specific like thing. Like Nevermind the Buzzcocks was music.
Yeah,
they very briefly did one, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was about cars.
Okay.
And one of the team captains was Chris Barry. Huh. And I think it got cancelled after one season because it was just really boring.
Everything about cars. And
one of the rounds was they would show a small picture of something on a car and they had to guess what car it was, and Chris Barry would just get it. It's like, that's a 1964 Ford Anglia or whatever. And it was really boring, and that's why they didn't do it. I don't know if they made Ford Anglias in 1964.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment that I won't read.
Also, leave a comment telling us your favourite colour. I'm quite curious.
We're not going to reference this in the next podcast.
No.
I don't know why. We've just got this kind of... I think it's because we're all here in person. We're kind of treating the microphone as the surrogate of the audience. So we feel a bit more of a need to talk to them as an entity.
No, I'm not. I'm
break down the artifice of what's actually happening here.
Nah.
I'm very upset you don't have googly eyes on it anymore, to be honest.
We had them on the webcam, but they were getting too distracting.
We do have. It does have a little heart on it.
I know, that's the bit I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Presumably because I think it's a googly eye.
For the next time, we'll put googly eyes on it.
Thank you.
Or do you want one singular googly eye? So it can be like a cyclops.
So if that's the eye, where's the frenulum?
That'd be around the back, I would assume.
Alright, let's twang it like a bowstring.
I'd rather you didn't. It might affect the audio quality. Matt,
Because that will make a difference.
At this point, yeah, people listen to the MisanthroPod for its premier audio quality.
I mean, to be fair, we do have some pretty solid audio quality.
We're definitely not the worst podcast I've listened to, that's true.
Like
but
early episodes in the MisanthroPod.
Oof, yeah, some of the early ones are a bit rough.
Yeah.
But Matt, what else have you been up to?
Been playing some games. On the old Switch.
On the Switch?
On the Switch. So I was like, I'll get some more games, we'll play over Christmas and actually have something to talk about on the podcast. Because why enjoy something for enjoyment's sake?
Yeah,
because in this capital hellscape, you have to monetize everything you enjoy because otherwise you starve and die.
So I've tried a few different little things. So first off, I was like, I'll play a game that was released this year. Holy shit, that's not happened
What?
before. I've been playing a bit of Metroid Dread.
Oh, nice.
I've heard that's really good.
So I've never played a Metroid game before.
Really? They're very Metroidvania.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've played early Castlevania, and I've assumed that Metroid is somehow connected to Castlevania because I've heard that it's just Metroidvania genre type mentioned.
They both use a similar kind of level structure.
Yeah, but I had no context for that really, so I didn't know what that was. So yeah, I've been playing that a bit, and I only got downloaded the demo because I've never played one before. I have no idea if I like it. And despite playing it for like an hour, I still have no idea if I like it. I can't work out if it's something that... I just don't understand what's going on, basically. And I spent a long time dying to start with, because I don't know if this is... Again, I've not played a Metroid game. So there's these enemies, I can't remember the name of them all. It did give you like a voiceover thing at the start.
I know the main character is called Metroid.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And it's attacked by loads of blokes called Samus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're all women.
That's
all the enemies are women.
All the enemies are women. You're playing as a man called
yeah.
Metroid, and all the enemies are women
that checks
called
out.
Aaron.
Right.
But the bosses are all female called Samus. Yeah. I don't be embarrassed. It's some deep lore.
And eventually you get enough power-ups to become Super Metroid.
Oh, it's well good. Then you get the Fire Flower, right?
Okay.
And you're the main one, which is why you're the Metroid Prime.
Yeah. Which is it's like the great grandfather of Optimus Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a surname, it's not a rank.
You were one of the original 13 primes.
Yes.
6,
Yeah. 2 of them went missing though.
Two of them went missing.
2 of them went missing.
The Forgotten and the Purged.
Yeah.
Again, listener, is this working for you?
You're just talking at the microphone. The microphone can't do shit.
Yeah.
It has to sit there and take it.
But yeah, Metroid Dread.
Yeah, there's a baddie that you encounter that you can't kill, and the whole point is that you run away from, and I just did not get that mechanic, and just because you can counter it, there's a chance that it grapples you and you can goes to spike you or something, and you can counter it if you get it exactly the right timing, but it's like hard.
I have heard it is quite difficult.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because I didn't know, at that point, I didn't know that you couldn't, I was just trying to counter the thing, and then you can slide underneath it to go behind it. So I was like shooting it behind and trying to let it come back at me to do the counter to get behind it again. I just kept trying to do that, and it kept dying for like half an hour, and then I ended up just like running away from it, because I slid, and I was like, oh, I'll see where this goes. And you go into a room where it's like, you don't have the power to kill these things. I was like, oh, well, I spent half an hour trying to kill this thing. Oh.
You know, I did actually hear about somebody opened, like they got like what's the thing? They got the license from Nintendo somehow, and they opened a Metroid bakery called Metroid Bread.
I mean, that's amazing.
They didn't. I made that up.
Oh.
I just want to say Metroid.
Yeah, I shouldn't have believed you because it was Nintendo doing something nice with it.
Yeah,
That's just obviously not true.
Yeah,
that was doing something that might bring joy outside of their video games.
They've also got new shoes, Metroid Tread.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
They've got some porn, Metroid Spread. That's where
I think you need to move on from Metroid.
All of the Aarons just sit there and they've got like really sexy long masculine legs because they're all boys.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have that much to say about it because I don't understand anything that's happening to me, and I have no idea if it's at all similar to any other Metroid game or not.
I couldn't tell you. I have played Metroid games here and there, never for like a long time. But the most I ever played was one time, many years ago, where I played whatever one that came out on the Game Boy Advance, and I don't remember which one it was. But I was a bit drunk. And and for some reason that was what I decided to play, and I was in that perfect level, when you get just drunk enough that you have to pay attention to what you're doing, so you focus so hard on something you actually get kind of good at it. That's my entire experience with Metroid, apart from occasionally booting up like the Super Nintendo one and going, this is fun, and then never playing it again, even though I know I should, because it's quite good. I think I played Metroid Prime for like half an hour once as well. When
I was in games dev, Other M or something came out where they were just like, you know what?
One.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Samus just isn't like sexistly female enough. Let's make her like massively concerned about some baby or some shit because WOMs.
It wasn't the one made by like Teen Ninja.
I mean. Look, titillation.
The people that make Dead or Alive.
The titty bounce games. Yeah.
Ooh.
I might be wrong there.
Remind me of that because I've got a point on that later on, but do continue.
Oh, I've got a point on it now.
I know.
No, it's just the way that my Star Wars jammers are
riding up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're bunching up on my erection. My legs are straight.
What?
Erection doesn't inherently mean it's sexual, Matthew. It's like when Sherlock Holmes was ejaculating all over the place.
I mean, that was sexual, but that's not.
But that was, but it could not have been.
It was because Watson was a sexy little bitch. And anyway, you were saying about Other M. What did you want to say about Other M?
Oh, I just remember there was a guy I was in game dev with who was super psyched. He was the guy who had the Sonic OC.
Yeah.
Who was Red Sonic.
And he's now a remarkably talented concept artist.
For, like, Sony, yeah. He still remembers our time together fondly, which is nice.
That's nice.
Because I remember, like, he wore glasses and I'd be like, dude, press triangle. And because that was a thing in Metal Gear Solid 3, when you're dressed as a scientist with glasses, you press triangle and he just adjusts his glasses. And then he'd stop and do it. But yeah, no, he was like getting super hyped. He's like, oh yeah, and it's going to be like, if an explosion happens, you can see the reflection of a face in the visor and it's going to be amazing. And it came out and was like, it was shit. And he was like, it's stupid. And then like everyone for like 6 months just turned around and was like, mate, the baby. And he just got pissed off with us all. In a playful kind of like friendly jibbing way. Well, this was the class where I remember my computer was facing this guy, because there were two guys in there that wouldn't speak to me because they didn't like girls.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you like girls, it's well gay. Or, I don't know. And, like, one of them was, like, he took his shoe off and took a big huff of it. I could see just at the corner of my eye, because his computer was, like, backed up to mine. And he was like, oh, mate. And he nudges his friend. He's like, my shoes smell like brown sauce. And I was like, I was sitting there like, what? And his mate turned around and like, what you mean, mate? And he's like, when you've like, it's that kind of smell where, you get a cast off and you've been really hot and sweaty during summer and you take cast off and you smell your arm and it's like brown sauce. And at that point, I leaned on my computer with a look of unmitigated horror while he was like halfway in his fucking shoe. Like, and we just shit. That moment where you look at someone and you both can read each other's minds and it's, what the fuck? Yeah. It was really weird, like, because I bumped into him, like, after uni and he was working in, like, Home Bargains. And he was like, oh, hi. And I was like, the whole time I was like, brown sauce. He was like, brown sauce, yeah. So, yeah, that's the kind of people you'll bump into. That's why Blizzard is a shit company.
What?
I'm just saying, that's just what games dev is. It's just dudes being gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the reason for the games industry is just
because Ben and his brown shoes, his brown sauce shoes.
Because they're all sniffing their brown saucy shoes all the time.
Yeah.
And no one told them that that's not a thing you should do in public, I guess.
No, he was looking at me like, oh God, she's heard, but also he looked a bit offended as well. And I'm like, look, you are sitting directly opposite me. Yeah. No one's talking.
Anyway, Matt, what else?
I thought I'd move on to a game that I was a bit more familiar with, slightly. So I've been playing Mario Odyssey, or Super Mario Odyssey.
That's really good, isn't it?
The best game by far that I've played on Switch so far, and this is probably breaking news to everyone, and no one else will agree with me, but it's Breath of the Wild. Because it's
horror.
It's just a fucking good game. Like, it just is. So I've been trying to chase that dragon, basically. Like, there will be another game as good at it that I can play.
When Breath of the Wild 2 comes out.
But, I mean, there's that, although I'm slightly sceptical as to why it's a whole new game. I don't know. Maybe it could be. Maybe it'll be great, and that'll be fine, and I'll probably get it anyway, because, I mean, I bought the DLC for the previous game, and that was an extra tenner for, like, an extra hour or something, and that was worth it. So, extra full price for a game that lasts more than a few hours is probably going to be worth it for me. But, so I was like, I'll get another first-party Nintendo game, and I haven't played a Mario game for a while. I know they've been a bit rocky, basically, ever since they stopped being 2D.
I don't know about that. Mario Galaxy was really good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sonic Adventure was great. It wasn't. It was Sonic Adventure 2.
But yeah,
and that was Havoc.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to annoy the audience at this point.
Yeah. My overarching takeaway from it is it's fine. It's fine. It's alright. It's a game.
It's fine.
Was it weird when you first saw Mario next to normally proportioned people?
I haven't. So I've only gone on the first 5 or 6 kingdoms. And I've only I got to the corner of it because I found like a teleport bit where I got to like a building in that kingdom.
New Donk City.
Yeah, New Donk City.
I thought that was a meme. I didn't know that was an actual name.
No,
because it's redonkulous in size.
Is that actually?
When you, on its on its stat card, it says population redonkulously large.
I don't know what.
The game is worth it for this reaction.
Yeah.
Microphone, you cannot see the face, but
but the face is. So it's redonky-diculous.
Yeah, I've been quite enjoying it. It's not one that I'm going to spend that many hours on. You can get loads of collectibles and things because it's a modern.
It's a collectathon.
And I'm just basically getting enough in each kingdom to get the power for the ship to fly to the next kingdom.
I mean, in fairness, Mario games have kind of worked like that for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a very old. It was the old 3D platformer kind of like that. It's like 2D side scroller, 2D adventure game kind of thing, and then there's the 3D adventure game collectathon kind of. It was just a staple of the time.
But yeah, it's quite good. I do like there is bits where you can go into like. Is there a name for the like green sewer tube? Things, pipes,
slot
are they
holes.
just pipes?
Yeah, slot pipes.
Slot pipes.
Slot pipes,
You can go into a slot pipe that's in the wall, and it turns you.
You were really ready to believe that.
back into 2D Mario, and you jump along the wall and play old school Mario.
That's
which is quite good fun. And it's quite good fun because the whole concept of it is that you've got like a magic hat. Now, there's a storyline behind it, but it really doesn't matter. But you have a magic hat that you can...
Isn't it called like Cappy?
It's Cappy from the Cap Kingdom, and there's a cap that's... Your Caps was destroyed by Bowser, and the Cap's brother was abducted, and I don't know.
This is some serious like fan fiction levels of like, this is my OC insert Pario, and he's related to Mario because his second cousin's left-legged dead dog, because they gave the legged dog. It was a support animal. It's very sad, actually.
They gave the leg a whole new dog.
Yeah. It's a support animal.
Oh, okay.
Because it didn't have the support there.
Okay.
Please, Matthew. I don't want to know where this alleyway leads. So please just take us somewhere else.
Yeah, it's quite. So the whole conceit is that you're.
Are you okay?
I've lost the lid of my pen.
Okay, that was definitely worth interrupting the podcast for.
I thought this was more important.
No,
it's fine. Just let it go. Let it go. We'll find it later. It's okay.
Yeah, so you throw your cap at other enemies, and it's all the standard Mario enemies. But then you get to play as them for a bit. And each kingdom, you need to use a different enemy to get various distances. So there's the bullet bill guys that you can do to fly over distances, because you get them and you just go and shoot off like a rocket. There's I don't know what their name is, the extendy caterpillar things. It's like I have no idea what they are. They get longer and shorter. They like their head moves and the back end stays in the same place, and then when their head gets a certain distance, the head stops and their back end catches up with them. So they sort of like Constantino along. Philip, probably. Yeah. But they're really fun to play because you get to be Wiggly Longboys for a bit.
Yeah. Wiggly Longboys is a way better name than Philip.
Yeah.
Get it together, Nintendo.
So it's good. Yeah, I don't have too much to say apart from the main baddie. So obviously the Bowser's kidnapped the princess and they fucked off. They're going to get married or something. I don't know. It's a little bit creepy. Oh, but only in the extent.
I tend to view the Mario games as like
it's all a game.
Like no. That Peach and Mario were an item, but then she they broke up, and then now she's like married to Bowser, and Mario just can't let it go.
Yeah,
he's just like no, because he's like a massive racist. He's a Koopa racist, and he's like no, I won't let you, and he's constantly trying to like split them up and stuff, and it's just like dude, no, we have kids, leave us alone. So actually, Mario is like, it's kind of like, it's akin to like Apocalypse Now and unreliable narrators. Don't just look at the fucking microphone like you're looking at the camera in the office. Just, I think my reading is still stands. It's level, it's first year film student shit.
My canon is that they're just mates and they're LARPing.
That's cool too. I like that. Yeah.
Sometimes they go kart riding together, and you watch them do that, and sometimes you're watching them do LARPing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would kind of imagine if like Wib approaching you and being like, I know, let's have a LARP game where I steal your wife.
Yeah, okay. It keeps happening every few weeks.
Yeah, and it's just like
dude, are you sending a message here?
I'm okay for the LARP, and it's fine to do different stories, but it's the same one each time, and it's
no.
cringy.
But this time you're like, can I borrow your wife for this LARP because my character is going to marry her. Her character. So it's not weird.
And you get to watch from the cupboard.
You're really helpful.
But so he's the big bad, and I have had to fight him now as well for the first time. I presume the game goes on, you fight him again. But the big bosses before then are these, I don't even know what they're called, rabbit things. They're not rabbids like the previous Mario game that I flipping loved. But they're some sort of bunny type creatures, and there's 4 of them, and you fight one in one kingdom, go to the next, and the next one is the boss. One of them's a lady rabbit.
Oh no.
She has the boobs. And they're very jiggle physicsy.
Oh my god.
And I was like, someone has spent some amount of time programming bouncy boobs on a rabbit.
Yep.
That's
bouncy
the thing
bun
that
baps.
Yeah, bouncy bun baps.
Don't like that.
But yeah.
Bouncy bunny baps.
Which did take me out of it slightly. I was like, why has someone done this? Like, what is it adding to the game?
Dude, look at any like
what it's adding is a giant set of Norks. I would have thought that was obvious.
They are giant. These rabbits are huge.
Yeah. Just if you want to really lose faith in humanity, just look at any like female character designed in a fighting game from the 90s.
Yeah.
She's built for agility. That's why she's wearing a thong up to her fucking shoulder blades. Also, she's 15. Yeah. At least the rabbit is of a healthy
breeding age.
Of health. It's an adult of healthy breeding age. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I mean, you can't take that shit for granted. I mean, in bunny years, she's probably... Okay, we
should not analyse this any further.
Hi there, I'm Snipe, the libertarian, and I'm here to tell you...
About the age of consent for rabbits?
I mean... I'm not a libertarian, but if I were, that's what I'd be talking about.
Okay, Matthew, please.
Save us.
Yeah, that's me done.
Oh, is that you done?
Move on.
Okay.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
Move away from this, whatever this is.
Okay.
What was it? Like emotional cul-de-sac?
Conversational cul-de-sac.
There we go. I think a teacher described me as a emotional cul-de-sac once.
Ugh.
Oh, she threatened to expel me, so you know.
Yeah, she probably should be fired.
She was like a big stupid woman, and I didn't like her.
Okay.
Web.
Hello.
What have you been up to?
Give you one fucking guess.
Yeah. So, I don't know if people remember, but a while ago in the podcast...
They try to forget.
A while ago in the podcast, I had this thing where I basically watched every bit of Star Trek for like a year solid. And so every time I spoke on the podcast, it was me talking about Star Trek.
Oh, really? I hadn't fucking... No.
You have just got over the trauma of that.
I had, and then I looked at your T-shirt.
I'm literally wearing a T-shirt with Janeway on it right now, yes.
I'm literally wearing, like, Grogu pajam jams. Look, it's got, like, a weird little, like, Razor Crest.
It does have a Razor Crest on it.
And it's got big green moons. Okay. It's really cute. And look, there's the wrinkle, baby.
Dear.
I'm showing Drummer Matt my leggies.
Audio medium.
I am showing Drummer Matt my leggies.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Can you do it silently? Okay, that's fine. So I talked about Star Trek for a long time, and apparently I'm doing that again now. But
so know you're going to harm us, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to pointing very theatrically at my trousers.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so I've been going through more Transformers stuff. And I'm just going to kind of quickly go over the things that I have watched because I've been watching through all the series and sort of give a little bit of a, are they worth watching? Because I'm getting into I watched the obvious stuff before, which I've talked about, like G1, and I watched Prime, and watched a bit of Beast Wars, and I think I just started watching some animated at the time. And I've gone through some more stuff that's maybe a little bit less obvious by this point. So
can I before you start, so Transformers animated?
Yes.
But the other series are also animated.
Yeah, but it's called Transformers Animated. That's its name.
It's actually explicitly called that.
That's its name.
Because fuck you, basically.
Yeah,
to differentiate it from the animated ones before. Yeah, presumably.
Well, there's G1, which is Generation 1.
And that wasn't even called that. It was just called The Transformers. Yeah. We just called it G1 as a retroactive name. So
you could say that Transformers media as a whole is more than meets the eye.
Yes. And weirdly, they've not called an animated series that yet, despite having two separate series called Robots in Disguise.
Didn't they have... Oh. Yeah, that's where I must be getting confused then.
Yeah. But anyway, so I finished off Transformers Animated, which is widely regarded as one of the best animated series, and I totally get it. Even though my own personal nostalgia means that G1's always going to hold a little bit of a weird place in my heart, despite it objectively being a bit shit. I 100% understand people loving animated, and I do really like it. Because it does new things with it. It's not just the same story that it has been every time. Like the group of Autobots aren't. It's not based around the whole Great War thing. The Great War happened millennia ago, and Optimus Prime in this he's like him and his group are space bridge repair crew who end up in a war with Megatron. And Megatron only actually even acknowledges what Optimus's name is right at the end. Huh. Because he's just like, you're not important. You're just a dude. I don't care about you. I'm Megatron. Fuck you.
I mean, he is paraphrasing. Megatron wasn't like, hey, fuck you. Yeah.
But yeah, it does something new. There's it kind of disappears in the later seasons because apparently Hasbro got mad at it. But it had superhero, kind of supervillains rather, that they had to fight human supervillains occasionally.
Okay.
Because
you're a truck. Just run the prick over. Just break into his bedroom and just do burnouts on his fucking corpse.
Well, the thing is, the Autobots don't have guns. They kind of more have powers.
Plug a tube into your exhaust pipe and shove it through his fucking letterbox.
It's a show.
Kill his whole fucking family.
Yeah, it's a show made for children. I will talk about some that weren't made for children and why they were shit.
Oh, okay.
But
because of all the low-key murder. That's why.
Kind of. But anyway, they do something new and different with it. It's not based around the same thing. The characters that are in it that are old characters are recontextualized to be different. Okay. And it means that for once the person being Optimus Prime isn't either Peter Cullen or someone doing a Peter Cullen impersonation. He's just doing his own thing, and because he is such a different character, that's not an issue. Whereas sometimes you'll hear people doing an impersonation of Peter Cullen, and it's an issue because they don't sound quite right. Whereas when it's someone just doing their own thing, you don't have an issue with it. Yeah. Same thing happens with Megatron all the time, because even though Frank Welker has done it countless times, he doesn't always do it in the same way. He voices Megatron in Prime as well as in the G1 cartoon, but his version in Prime is different. And that's not a problem, because Megatron's always kind of different. Or not always, but it's very frequent for him to just have different like ways of speaking, and that's cool. But anyway, animated, really good. It is a pity it got cancelled before they did the full thing, because they were going to have a 4th season, which is going to have a lot of cool shit in it, and that just didn't happen. But it does end in a way that in a place that does feel remotely natural, even though it does mean there's a lot of stuff about, hey, the Autobot, like, guard and stuff, actually, they're weirdly authoritarian shitheads, and they were going to do stuff with that, apparently, and they just kind of didn't really get a chance to do. Which is a pity, but it would have been cool.
I mean, like, no shade on them, but if I had, like, a couple of seasons of a cartoon that was well received, and then I got cancelled, I'd be like, oh, yeah, next one, we were going to have fucking Elton John. He's going to have his, like, he had a stand called Piano Man, because then we actually got the license to cross over with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I will just say, they did release a book with all the concept art and stuff.
I know,
I'm
just saying they're better people than I am.
Okay.
Because I would be like, yeah, no, we actually managed to get the Queen on board.
I will actually just say, just to, like, you know, change the tone a smidge, just, I forgot his name, but one of the main guys behind it died, like, a few days ago. So that's really sad. I wish I could remember his name offhand, but so that's really sad. Because
you literally
cool
just got through telling me how, like, oh yeah, no, I like his personal Twitter. He still draws loads of Transformers because he just loves Transformers so much.
Yeah. Huh.
And then he just passed away a few days later. It's like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that was real sad. To go on to like a more happy thing, I also watched Cyberverse, which is the most recent series, and it is geared much more at like a younger audience than a lot of them. It's like a little bit more kiddie. Yeah. But also, it's just kind of fun.
It is a nice day for a parade?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it's like a really stylized look, so they're really like blocky. They almost look like they're made out of Lego. They're like so chunky.
No, I'd say like, Duplo, because they're very smooth.
Very bright colours. Kind of light-hearted, but it does also go in and actually tell some really interesting stories with it. Okay. And it's like most of the episodes, apart from a couple towards the end, are like just 10 minutes long. They're just kind of little short things, and it like reaches from stuff from all over Transformers canon, and it's not afraid of recontextualizing things. So Grimlock in this is like, he's kind of Thor, like Marvel Thor, where he's this big boisterous like hero character who's like, yes, we're going to go on all of these adventures, and it's going to be marvelous, and we're all going to have jolly good times.
So it's Dan Dare.
But then when he gets his dinosaur mode and he turns into
Grimlock.
Yeah, but he's like, he to have like a more powerful alt mode, he's like channeled it all into like the strength of that. So he's thick. So he turns into classic Grimlock when that happens.
Yeah, that's my fucking excuse too. I just need to be so powerful. Yeah. That's why I'm so thick.
But what's really cool is that it just borrows stuff from all over the canon, like from all over.
Oh, what is it? They have their
Wikipedia.
That's the Wikipedia. Or something.
Oh, like the Wit Wikipedia, yes.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Spike Witwicky was the original like human companion. Also, Sam Witwicky, the guy that Shia LaBeouf played in the movies.
Yeah, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
So it's like so it had that, and like they were like, we're just going to bring in this character that's like Sound Blaster shows up towards the end.
Sound Blaster's legit because he's like the sound.
Black Soundwave, which is super cool. Because
he's sleek.
And that character originally came from the Japanese series, The Headmasters. Can
I just very quickly interrupt? When you hear the word Headmasters, do you think Principal?
I think Demon Headmaster.
Fair.
I don't know what that is.
It's an old TV show from, I don't know, the 90s.
90s, yeah.
Was it about a demon principal?
Yes.
Principal Cellist?
Were they a demon, though?
Yes.
And also in charge of a school?
Yes.
Okay, so they were a principal. Okay. Because when Wib was like, there's all these things like headmasters, and I'm like, what the fuck? There was a term, there was a Transformers school? And I got confused.
But headmasters are someone who's good at sucking dick.
Yeah, like Nancy Reagan.
Yeah. She was a headmaster.
Oh, yes, she was.
I can explain what a headmaster is, but it's way stupider.
No, I like it that there's just a select group of Transformers
the heads pop off and
suck
become a little robot.
Yeah.
that can suck dick like no one's business.
It finally allowed...
Presumably its own dick, that's why it pops off in the first place.
Would you do that? If
your head popped off and turned into a tiny robot.
Yeah. And that would suck your dick.
If it turned into a tiny robot, it might be a bit too metallic and
cold. But the thing is, like, there's some, like, you can get, like, mechanical flashlights and stuff that, you can hack.
If it had the flesh-like interior.
Yeah. So let's say
on your own head that popped off.
If you popped off your own
head.
Turned
metallic for some reason.
It goes... And it's just a flashlight.
Are you saying, have we bought a flashlight? It's where the question
I'm now imagining, like, would that be like... It'd be like a triple-changing headmaster, or would it be like... Or the head is like Shockwave's head, where it's just got the single eye, except it's a flashlight.
So you fuck his eye?
His eye socket.
That's really messed up, dude.
Really messed up.
What the fuck is wrong with you? The thing is, I like Sound Blaster, but I couldn't I couldn't make out with him because he's got the faceplate.
Yeah, he doesn't have lips.
Yeah. So I just have to, like, I don't know, just like motorboat his faceplate.
Yeah.
And I just have to hope he was into it.
Anyway,
that'd be embarrassing.
Anyway, it borrows stuff from like the old like old Japanese cartoons. It borrows stuff from like later iterations of the American cartoons. Beast Wars characters show up in it. Stuff from the comics shows up in it all over. One of the characters that shows up all the way through it is a pair of characters who are like conjoined twins called Rack and Ruin, who are from the old Marvel comics and are literally not important in any other way, but they made them just a character. Like, they used to do it all the time, just having little bits from all over the canon. So it's like, if you watch it, you kind of know a bit about every bit of Transformers, which is kind of really cool.
Yeah. It does feel, just with the richness of the references, that it is written by people who really like it and really like Transformers. And and that's the thing. It's like it might not be like fantastic looking or whatever, but it's like the first Silent Hill movie that was directed by someone who was a massive fucking fan. And that movie, it's a video game movie, but also there's certain parts of it that you can't help but really like because you can tell love was put into it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I like, even though the look of it is basic, it's the aesthetic of it. So it's not bad. It's just how they've chosen to make this iteration of it look, and they've tried everything else, so like it's just a new thing, and I'm down with it. Granted, it does mean the toys look really basic, and it means that the only toy for Wild Wheel is a bit crap.
I'm very upset that the only toy for Wild Wheel is bad, because that's the only Transformer I'm in love with, apart from Soundwave.
He's a cowboy.
He's got like a handlebar moustache and a serape.
And a detachable hat on the toy.
Yeah,
there is a great Twitter account, I think it's just called Wild Wheel's Hat, where they go through their collection of Transformers, seeing how many of them can wear Wild Wheel's hat.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Wasn't that Hot Rodimus was very close?
I think one of the Rodimuses could wear it all right.
Yeah. It's very informative. Very good, yeah.
Great.
But I really hope they release like a G1 style Wild Wheel, because I love him and he is my son.
But yeah, they do all these really like deep cuts with it, and it's just really cool. There's a whole fucking like little arc where it's based around like it's a Matrix parody, but not all the parts of the Matrix that normally get parodied. Well, I guess homage, really, where they do a whole thing with the Quintessons, which are like villains from the original cartoons. But they do that, but it's a Matrix thing.
Huh.
Just imagine that, but it's the Matrix.
And there's one cat, like they basically get stuck in a kind of Groundhog Day parade. That's basically
it's a nice
the Matrix.
day for a parade.
Huh. And if you tell someone to transform inside that, then they'll come out of it. But nothing in the simulation makes them want to, so they don't. And so they're jacking into it to try and free them. It's really cool. And like the Quintessons, like some of the Quintessons you see, they look like the squiddy robots from the Matrix. Like, so they do. It's really cool. And yeah,
Sentinels,
yeah, that's one.
No, everyone always remembers them as squids or squiddies.
Yeah, so that's the nickname they give them. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, and that's really cool. And then as it goes on, there's there is a character who works for the Quintessons, and as he goes through each dimension, because it's to do with like going through different dimensions, the cyberverse, one could say.
Yeah. I was going to ask for the name. Was it made in like early internet days? Because who calls something cyberverse?
No, literally the final version of it, the final episode of it came out like earlier this year.
So the name just old as shit.
The name Cyberverse is a reused name from a toy line for one of the movies, so it's not a new word. But they do a whole thing where one of them, every dimension he goes to, he gets the sound wave there. Because he collects them, and so he opens like a room, and it's just full of different coloured sound waves, and he picks up the continuity one from this one. He's like, "Oh, I don't have a blue one," making every person who collects Transformers go, "Yeah." Everyone wants all the Seekers. You're like, "Oh, I don't have the blue one yet." Which one am I talking about? Am I just talking about Thundercracker, or am I talking about one of the Rainmakers? Who knows?
Yeah, we certainly fucking don't.
But yeah, anyway, Cyberverse is a lot of fun. It is a bit younger geared, but it's just having fun with the continuity and fun with different things. And if you know a bit about Transformers, you'll spend your whole time going, "Oh, I know where that comes from. Oh, they went to McAdams. That's fun." You'll just be doing that the whole time, and that's pretty fun. That's like, because though that was shown on like Cartoon Network, apparently like the last parts of it were like premiered on YouTube or something. It's actually, when I read up about it, it seems more confusing. But it is all on YouTube channels, although the playlists for each season are on different channels, and sometimes there'll be a random episode that's on a different channel.
Right. Okay.
This isn't because they're all re-uploaded. This is their officials. Most like, "Oh, these are all on the Transformers official channel. This one's on the Hasbro Pulse channel. But the fucking like playlist is all hosted on the Hasbro channel." It's an absolute nightmare, and it took me a while to figure out how to even watch the thing, even though it's all free on YouTube. But that wasn't the first time that they made a web series.
Okay.
They did it a few times before. You could argue that the Netflix one they did recently could almost count as that, but it's on Netflix, so I don't.
Well, there was Transformers Forces of Destiny.
Okay, I'm just going to say what I'm about to talk about makes Forces of Destiny look like high art.
Jesus Christ.
So there's two. One of which I watched. I'll do them in the order I watched them. One of which is the Prime Wars trilogy, which was done to promote the Prime Wars series of toys, which was 3 toy lines called Combiner Wars, Titan's Return, and Power of the Primes. And they did. That was the name of the three toy lines that were around. They each had their own gimmicks a few years back, and they decided to make an animated series to promote that, which was made by Machinima. Do you remember Machinima, the YouTube
Are they even
channel?
Still a thing?
No, they went bankrupt a while ago.
Is it because they sucked so hard at this?
Yes.
Is it?
No.
I was about to say, because it did suck so bad.
But if there was any justice in the world, that would be why.
Yeah, okay.
I could literally talk about this thing for a solid hour, so I'm explicitly going to be very brief about this.
Okay. He's only going to talk about it for 47 minutes.
Because it is bad by every metric you could possibly look at. It's boringly animated. As a toy line advert, they barely even acknowledge the specific gimmicks of each toy line. So even as an advert, it's not very good. It's about lots of things like, oh, they're going to destroy the city, but literally the only people you see are the main cast. So it feels like watching an Asylum movie where they're like, oh, these monsters are attacking the city. They've destroyed the whole west coast of the United States, but you only see the reaction of the 3 actors they hired. So it just feels like a little bottle episode of something, but it's the whole thing. The only good side of it is that Megatron is really sassy all the way through it.
Oh, yeah, he's a sassy little bitch, isn't he?
Because it's like a post-war Megatron who just wants to be left alone, but he gets kind of dragged into it, and he kind of becomes the hero of the thing. But even his sass gets really grating by the end of it because the whole thing is so badly put together. Like, the voice direction is appalling. Its pacing is non-existent. There's odd gaps between everyone speaking. It's just bad all the way down. Do not watch the Prime Wars things. You have to go onto roosterteeth.com to watch them, and you don't want that.
Nobody wants that. Not even Rooster Teeth.
When I watched it, I said, this is the worst thing I've watched to do with Transformers. This is the worst series. This made me go, the War for Cybertron trilogy was good, and the War for Cybertron trilogy was shit. I'm
getting learned real hard here.
But then I watched Cyber Missions, which was another toy line.
That sounds pretty sexy, actually.
A set of toy line like adverts that was made in, I think, 2010.
Like 3 years ago.
It's the only cartoon in the movie continuity.
Okay.
There's your problem.
Yeah, and it was a set of 13 episodes that were all only 3-4 minutes long.
Okay, how bad can that be?
Oh, honey. You didn't hear him when he was watching it. He had his headphones on. I was like, I don't know, doing fucking Codebreaker or something. And he was just like, oh, fuck off. Because that's how he sounds.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's well fucking shit.
You didn't actually hear my response. You were hearing me talking about the Prime Wars trilogy, the thing that is better than this.
Jesus Christ.
I was watching these when you were in bed.
I consider myself lucky.
They look like an unfinished animatic.
Okay.
That Good. They were released as a finished article is... If I was interested in the toy line at the time, I would have considered it insulting. It came out just before Transformers Prime, which looks pretty good. So Cyber Missions were released as a thing to promote the movie toy line. So the designs of the robots are often based on it will be it's Starscream, but he's got a tribal tattoo design on him. Because it was
cool.
It was 2010.
Yeah,
it was a time when we didn't understand anything. And it is hard to describe how bad it looks. When I say it looks like an unfinished animatic, I mean the animations are stilted and weird. Nothing looks finished. Everything looks like a temporary texture. The voice acting is pretty shady and only done by 3 people.
Who were paid 3.5 Ritz biscuits and a slap on the arse.
There's no facial animation.
I voice act for that.
You have voice acted for that, and we're grateful.
There's no facial animation on stuff. So characters that do have visible mouths, they're not moving. It looks like
it sounds like it's when you're doing a 3D animation, you do the very rough, chunky, very low poly version first. Yeah. So you just get the kind of, okay, this is how this person is going to be moving vaguely. So, it's just for demonstrative purposes. It's not the finished product.
Yeah, it's something...
to see if movement and camera angles work.
Yeah, it looks like something the public was never meant to see.
And they released it.
And they just released it. Now, I did find out, the only bit of information I can find out about its production was that they originally were given 11 months to make it. And it's it's less than an hour's worth of 3D animation in total. So, yeah, that's probably a reasonable amount of time.
Once you've got the models down and the animations, and actually know that it's doable, but... For
a little toy line
it's fine.
Yeah, that I assume that's a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, it turned out that they ended up only having 3 months to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
what you were seeing
was unfinished.
Unfinished. Okay.
If they're all on YouTube, if you're really interested, go look up Cyber Missions because you will not believe how bad they look. It is the worst Transformers thing I have seen. Granted, I haven't read the Kiss Players manga, but that's Transformers for sex criminals. So,
There's one person who's going to be so mad at me in the comments. And you know what? Yeah. I don't care.
But anyway, I did also watch another thing that was actually kind of good. Which was Beast Wars Second, which is one of the Japanese ones that didn't come over here.
But isn't Beast Wars that was a Western endeavor?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what happened is that after the original Transformers cartoon, Japan did a bunch of series after that. They did the Headmasters, Super God Master Force, and Transformers Victory.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love that Super God Master Force.
Which are really interesting in that they pull further and further away as they go from what the original premise was.
So toys.
Well, they were making toys for them. They were
doing that is the original premise.
Well, I mean, they were still doing that, but I mean, the original characters and stuff. So, by the end of it, Optimus Prime, Megatron, nowhere to be seen. There's new leaders for both sides. New
toy lines, yeah.
Some of the old characters still show up. The very last animated thing from that era is a thing called Transformers Zone, which is a single half-hour thing, which easily found on YouTube if you're interested. And it's just nothing to you watch it. It's like watching Transformers from another world because nothing in it is kind of the same, except for there's Decepticon general, great Decepticon generals who've been brought back, and I think there's 7 of them, and most of them are old characters who are brought back and wearing big capes and shoulder pads. So there's Devastator, with shoulder pads. Like
that sounds pretty legit to be. That's fashion AF.
There's Triptychon, and there's Predaking and various other things. And
Predaking.
He is the combined form of the Predacons. Okay.
Sorry, now I feel silly.
Yeah. And anyway, that's a whole thing. But then after that, the cartoons kind of ended for a while, and then in the West they made Beast Wars, which was the 3D animated one where they all turn into animals.
So they did make it in the West, and you've just been explaining for 5 minutes
No, because the first Beast Wars series was made like that, and it was 3D, and it was all made in the West. Then in Japan, in the intervening time, because they wanted a series whilst the American one was being made, they started making their own Beast Wars shows that, like the old G1 shows, are sort of their own continuity spin-off.
Okay.
They made Beast Wars Second and Beast Wars Neo, which are both spin-offs that are made set much later on. But they're kind of an interesting thing to watch from a Western perspective, because I haven't watched Beast Wars Neo yet, but Beast Wars Second is, from what I understand, set quite some time after the American one. So it's not like thousands of years. So it's not, you're not supposed to have the same characters knocking around or anything. Although granted,
Transformers live for?
Millions of years.
Okay.
So it's not impossible, but
No, but
some of them have immortality as well.
Functionally, yeah.
Functionally immortal. Yeah.
I don't think there is such a thing as it dying of old age to a Cybertronian. Might be wrong there. Tell me if I am.
Yes, please engage with us.
But please engage with the comments. This is just a bit now. But yeah, so it's set much later, so it's like a different kind of setting to it. And it's traditionally animated, so it's really interesting to see Beast Wars, which used to be in really shonky early 3D animation, actually traditionally animated. And it carries across a quirk of the Japanese dub of Beast Wars, because the Japanese dub of Beast Wars was a straight comedy. Huh. They made everything overtly comedic, and Beast Wars had more
comic relief.
Yeah, it had more overt comedy than the original, because Transformers was never it was light-hearted, but it didn't have overt comedy. Usually, it was just things that were kind of silly, and you were just supposed to just roll with it. Whereas Beast Wars was intentionally telling jokes and having occasional fourth wall breaking things. The Japanese dub of it was wall to wall, that it was just a comedy. And so that carries over a bit into the traditionally animated ones, where they're not as bad, but they are still more comedic, and so it's kind of interesting to see that. Although what's really weird is that it is still the Predacon, it's the Predacons and Maximals from Beast Wars, but the Predacons are mostly, the designs for them are mostly borrowed from Generation 2 Transformers toys that weren't used in any animation. So the main henchman of their version of their big bad, who's Galvatron, I think, in that one. His main henchman is called Megastorm, and he's using the design of Generation 2 Megatron, who was a big green tank. So it's really weird to watch, because you go, wait, that design, that's not that character. That's over here, that was that character. What? And it's just like that all the way. Oh, it's really weird. But it's quite fun. It's just it's a bit silly. Although it's a little harder for me to watch, because I've been watching through all these series whilst I've been doing other things, like painting or doing something. And
but now you have to read subtitles.
I have to read subtitles because they've never been dubbed, or in the case of the Headmasters, was dubbed horrendously to a point of comedic levels, where they renamed the character Blaster to Billy, and no one knows why. Yeah, it's
please call me William.
It's a famously bad dub. I should probably just watch it like that, just to amuse myself.
Yeah, well, at least an episode.
Yeah, but yeah. So I've been slowly chipping through stuff. I have a literal spreadsheet, because there's so many fucking series to remember what I've watched and what I haven't. Yeah, but that's
one of those ones where you go on the Wikipedia, but it doesn't quite have everything on. Or is it?
The Wikipedia is not.
The Transformers wiki is the best wiki.
Well, there's a Wikipedia entry for all Transformers series that I think is pretty good. It's missing some web series and stuff, but it depends on where you draw the line as a series.
Okay, yeah.
There's a series of stop motion stuff they do now, with like the actual toys, because fans have been doing that for decades anyway. So they've like been doing some recently, and like I guess you could count those as an animated web series in the same vein as Cyber Missions. You could count that as that if you wanted. Or there was, with one of the movies, there was a brief series of animated shorts called How to Ride Your Dinobot or something, which was just comedically trying to show the Autobots riding the Dinobots, because in the movie Age of Extinction they did that a bit. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm having fun. I hope you had fun listening to me talk about it. If you didn't, I did it anyway.
If you didn't, don't come back next time.
Please come back next time.
If you didn't, leave a comment.
Yeah, that's better actually. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have feelings about stuff? Leave it in the comments. Final thing to just talk about is a really brief thing, because I literally talked about it loads when we first started the podcast, because it was the game I was playing then. I've started replaying Dark Souls.
What's that then?
Straight up Dark Souls. Like
just straight up Dark Souls 1, because everyone was playing it, playing that or Dark Souls 2, and I was like, I've got hankering to play Dark Souls. So I initially installed Dark Souls 2, played it for an hour, went, I remember why people don't like Dark Souls 2 as much. And then booted up Dark Souls 1 again, and I've been slowly playing through that. I've actually played it on stream a couple of times as well with
How's
both.
it going?
I'm up to the Ornstein and Smaug fight, which is one of the more notorious fights in the game, which is where you fight two blokes in Anor Londo.
I think you're underselling it, but that's basically it.
Yeah. But it's been interesting to go back and see like how well I remember things, like secrets, and how well I don't remember some things, and like some bosses that I like found really difficult, and then just playing them on stream, and then just like just kill them, just fucking do it.
Is that because you played 2 and 3?
Because I've played them all, and I've played that game. Like I beat that game like 3 times before, but I've just not played it in years and years. And I'm just like, it's just kind of fun to go back to, because it's just a good game. And the parts where it's not so good are kind of charmingly crap. So,
this is where you ran out of money. Oh.
Hey, Lost Island. The bit where they ran out of money. I'm just going to look over the side of this walkway. Oh, hey, there's just a hole in the world, because they didn't get time to finish this bit of the game. I've also been able, for some reason, I think it's because I played a bunch of Bloodborne since I last played Dark Souls 1. I finally started to understand the parry system.
Okay.
Which I never did before, so that's been quite fun, of actually being able to parry stuff. Like when I finally get to the final boss, I might be able to do that thing that everyone always says, he's really easy because you can just parry him. And I was always like, well, I've got the reaction times of like an elderly sloth, so I can't do that. But I might be able to do that now, so that'd be fun. I mean, probably just kill me, but if I can parry him once, I'll be happy. But so I'm going through that, and I'm having fun with that, and that's cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Dark Souls is a good game.
Yeah.
I haven't got the remastered version though. I am still playing the Prepare to Die edition, because I was like, I didn't realise that you got money off buying the remastered edition if you had the Prepare to Die edition. And then they stopped that promotion. And I was like, look, so when I loaded it up, it was like, we've ended this promotion. I'm like, oh, piss. Because I would have liked to have got that, because it runs nicer. So it was just running DS fix for me. To make that game that barely works on PC work on PC, where some bloke just fixed it. But anyway, Dark Souls good, and that's all I have to say. So we should probably move on to the questions, which means I should reach over and grab the mouse and bring up the screen so that you can read them, Matthew.
Yes.
That's the right one.
There you go.
Yeah,
do
you need the font bigger?
No, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
I've got eyes.
Okay.
Is that at the top? Yeah, there's no score bar. All right, questions.
Yeah, but
Snipe.
what? Fuck off.
Yes, I got it first. Email address.
thedrummermat@gmail.com.
I believe that's probably right. It's been a while.
That is definitely probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at least 2 of these actually came to the old email address.
So fucking cut that shit out.
Which is fine. But the old email address doesn't have auto replies. But I do still read them. So do what you want with that information. I won't reply to you.
Send him pictures of duck feet.
To the new one.
No. Any spam things you can send to the old one, including that person who signs up for seemingly the equivalent of Gumtree, but for tractor parts.
Was that just you?
It was not me. No, we've got many adverts for like.
What is it? Is it like just literally like
here's a digger scoop advert you might be interested in. Here's a concrete crusher advert you might be interested in.
You can
here's
just
another digger bit.
If you just reply to any like promotional email like that with just the words unsubscribe, it will unsubscribe you.
I don't want to unsubscribe from it.
Oh my god! So you're not what? Okay.
It wasn't a complaint. It was an observation.
Fucking Christ! Okay.
It's just easier organisationally if the tractor bits go to one email address, and the actual questions go to the actual email address.
The tractor bits go to the old email address. Yeah. And okay, we know this now.
And however you want to interpret tractor bits, I mean, that's fine too.
You're going to get sent some weird anthro shit now of like a fucking tractor's dick.
Yeah, that's also fine. To the old email address. Right, questions. Cannon Fodder Dean.
Hi, Dean.
I've played D&D a few times and really enjoy it. However, I find it really hard to really relax into it and fully immerse myself into it. Any tips?
Full frontal nudity. No. Honestly, it's like playing on stage. You just got to get comfortable with it, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. Yeah,
it is a bit awkward the first few times you're kind of trying to, especially if you haven't like fully figured out your character yet.
Can't relate. Every DM that has ever DM'd for me, I've sent like a fucking stack of like I've sent like at least 20-page documents being like, so here was their favourite food as a child. This is what their mother called them. This is like, see, Drummermat's laughing. He had to read that shit.
Whereas I'm basically, this is my dwarf, deal with it. His name is this.
You know as much as I know. Let's find out together, which is very valid.
Yeah. And that did kind of happen.
No, that's not the only valid way.
Yeah.
But it is also valid.
I did kind of find out who Johnny was throughout playing him. But yeah, it is just a thing where it is a thing over time, and it is awkward when you first do it, but you just kind of have to get used to it, and it helps if you've got like a group of people who are really getting into it themselves, like, because you find that people are more willing to be a bit more into the role play when everyone's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it does take a bit of a leap for you to kind of leap into it, and it is a bit scary, but it's worth it to do.
I would advise against like booze at the table, because I have read so many D&D horror stories about that, and I mean, like if it
is again like being on stage, like having a beer to loosen yourself up seems like a good idea until you go too far, and then you go, maybe I shouldn't drink before I go on stage.
I remember we did like a Halloween gig years and years and years ago with Shot Stacy.
Oh, yeah.
When they all came on stage and started dancing with us. I was dressed up as Elle Driver from, like, Kill Bill, so I had an eye patch on, so I had no depth perception. I had, like, somebody bought me, like, a bunch of, like, shots or something. So I was basically, like, I was on the wrong side of tipsy, and I was wearing heels. With three very large men, like, swaying me back and forth. And I was like, I couldn't do anything in this situation, let alone play bass. And I ain't done it like that since. Because, hoo-wee.
I keep thinking for the last few gigs, this is a tangent on a tangent, but for the last few gigs, I'm just like, oh yeah, no, I've got someone else who's driving me home. I can get quite drunk at this gig, and I have one drink and go, you know what, that's enough for me.
Yeah. You know what,
that's fine.
It's because you're
really
a dad.
disappointed every time, but I just can't do it, apparently.
Yeah, I did just like stop having drinks at gigs a long time before I stopped drinking entirely, like, because I was just like, it just makes me kind of sloppy and not like in a fun way, just in a like I'm just not as good. I'm just not as good at what I'm doing, and I'm not stressed about being on stage anymore because I've been doing it for a decade. So
long story short, it does seem like cop-out advice, but the more you do it, just do a little bit more, just step a little bit outside your comfort zone every single time, and you'll notice that the goalposts of your comfort zone will shift.
Yeah.
And, you'll get more into it, which, it does sound like a cop-out, but I mean, that's the way we have done it, so yeah. I hope that helps.
And don't be too committed to something, I guess, because you can, if you go into something and you just don't, say for example, using a voice or something. Like if you go into it and not doing it, don't think, oh, I've not done it in the first session, therefore I can never do it.
Or don't think, I have to do a voice.
I have to do it. Yeah, no. And conversely, if you happen to do it and you do something far too over the top and dramatic, to overcompensate for being a bit nervous or uncomfortable, you don't then have to do that forever. You can kind of explore
Yeah,
it
you're not
as
locked
you go
in.
on.
There's like I've done characters that have a voice, for want of a better term, like my character Samuel spoke in a certain way, or when I played Normal the Goblin, I did do his voice as much as I could.
Hi, I'm Normal.
Yeah.
And I do, like, in the AOS game we play, I do, like, a weird Eurotrash accent.
For Pavi, yeah.
Per Pavi, so it's not, like, one and it's not offensive.
But others I don't do a voice for at all because it's not really necessary, and not everyone, and you don't have to do that. Like,
No,
it's
I
good.
mean, if
Some
you want
people-
to, then go for
Some
it.
people are comfortable doing it, some people aren't, and it's fine. It's just because it's not about the voice, it's about what you're saying and about how you put it across. You know?
I've heard this is a little bit of a tangent, but on like the D&D subreddit and stuff like that, they do have like this is like a Mercer DM problem, which is referencing obviously Matt Mercer, and basically a lot of like younger people who come into D&D while getting hooked on Critical Role and thinking that every session has to be like that. But it's like, no, these are professional voice actors. Yeah. They are professional voice actors and actors in a lot of cases. And like Matt Mercer's been DMing since he was like 14. And it's a TV show. It's reality TV of D&D. It would be nice if everyone's session was like that, but it's not. It's not.
That's not the reality of D&D. That's not how most games of D&D work. Any podcast where they're doing it is unlikely to be like your game. Yeah. Because there's an element of entertainment for an audience there. Yeah. Whereas you're not doing that when you're playing it by yourself. You're gonna stop and fumble. You're gonna
go, oh wait, no, I don't want to say that because that doesn't, it's fine.
Yeah, and then 100 episodes in, you just stopped editing that out.
Yeah, exactly. And people are like, wow, that's so quirky. And they're like, so you meant like to do XYZ because of this person's background? And then you go, yes, I did. So don't worry if you fuck up. Who cares? You're gonna fuck up. You just have fun with it. And I appreciate, again, that's some really shit advice. That's just depressed, feel better. But no, like, you're playing a game.
There is no wrong way.
Yeah, and if you don't ever feel comfortable doing it, doesn't matter. You'll still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I guess, if you feel like you're not going to get comfortable with it, don't let that take away the enjoyment of the game. Yeah. Don't spend your whole time playing, I should be doing this better, whatever that means.
I've been bitching about this for a while. Like, for the past, week, this has been quite prevalent in my brain. Because of, Nick Cage and celebrated Chilean American actor Jose Pedro Belmaceda Pascal. There's a new movie coming out in April of next year. And it's like, people always make fun of Nick Cage.
They shouldn't be paying you.
What, Pedro? Pedrito, pay me, please.
To do anything.
The production company for the unbearable weight
You want
of
me to brush
talent
your teeth? Yeah, no, they should.
Be paying.
They should. Also, the fact that his character is called Javi. And it's just, I told that to Longfang. And he went, oh, for fuck's sake, of course that's his name. Because I have an AOS character called Puffy. And she's a little shit. But yeah. And I was talking about it on stream where it's like, Nick Cage is he's a cheesy kind of scenery chewing actor. But he does loads of roles because you can tell he just likes acting. And he might not be the best at it. He is a good actor. But it doesn't matter if he's not great at it because you can't help but enjoy him enjoying it while he's doing it. And I'm like, you don't need to be good at something to do it.
That is a
there's
very
too
real
much
problem.
onus on, if you want to do, say you want to do a voice during a D&D game, you got to be good at it. Fuck off.
Yeah. Well, I want to be in a band, I'm not that good at it.
Who cares?
Okay, so I don't ever join a band. I want to go play football, but I can't really play football. But I enjoy it, but I won't play because I'm not very good. Just do
Who
the
cares?
thing.
Just do the thing.
And if you can find some friends to do it with you who are, who have the same mindset.
Yeah.
To be a little serious about it, there is too much focus in society about you have to be good at stuff, and it's totally fine to be mediocre or bad at something if you enjoy it. It's totally
unless
fine.
It's like surgery or a doctor.
Well, yes, but there's too much of the assumption that we have to be amazing at everything, and I think it's got a lot to do with the whole everything has to be marketable. There's no point in doing something unless you can sell it as a skill and make money and fuel the capitalist machine. And it's just no, you can be shit at something and just enjoy it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, that's all that matters. Yeah.
So I hope you got anything from that, Dean. Thank you for the question.
Yes.
Cool. All right, next up. Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
I like this one. You stumble across a shop that has all the things that you've thrown away but regretted throwing away. What one item do you buy back off them?
Are we counting like things that say you've given away to charity or something like that as well?
I guess that would probably
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff that I regretted, because I only
you've got rid of something that you've got rid of,
I only really
like years ago as a kid or as a younger adult or whatever, and then now you're like, I should have kept that.
Probably the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord.
You've got Serpentera. What more do you want?
I wish I kept that. I really wish I kept that. That's probably the one I always think of. I think everything else I've thrown away has been something that's like literally is broken and I can't really do anything about it. And
My answer's going to be really depressing.
Oh, cool. Okay.
When I was little, my nana, because we moved to England and my nana stayed in Australia, and she sent me her stamp collection that she'd been collecting since she was like 16 years old. And I sold it to some guy for 20 quid because I needed a pair of shoes. And we were very fucking poor. And I really wish I hadn't, because I don't have anything of hers anymore. Oh. Or maybe a dildo! Ooh, I don't know.
Suddenly my Megazord is seeming awfully flippant.
They weren't even good shoes. I'm sorry, I had to make it depressing. Do you know, Matt? What about you're like, I don't know, some jelly shoes?
No, the one that this is going back closer to. Well, this is actually less important than both of yours. We should say something. There is I got as a teenager, 16-year-old. A single on CD from a local Derby band. I think it was Comikino, but it was a local Derby band at the time who were doing well in the local scene. And I flipping love the song on it. And I've occasionally looked back now and see, I wonder if I can find that song. And I probably hate it now because I was a teenager and I probably had shit taste because I was a teenager.
It's needing to know.
But I just cannot find. They put some songs. I can't even explicitly remember that it was this band. I just remember really enjoying this song. And at the same time, I did get this CD, so I'm conflating the two.
Yeah.
But it might not have been the same band. But I cannot find this song. But I know nothing about this song. But I really want to hear it again. But I have no way of finding it because I don't have the original CD.
I do think because
it's like it doesn't really bother me, but just occasionally I think about it.
Well, it's something that you keep going back to, so it obviously means something.
It means something apparently.
Well,
it's more curiosity than anything else.
I've got like a bunch of CDs from like local bands and stuff, and you do go like, well, these aren't like, especially from a little while ago before that everything was just put on Spotify. So that it isn't online anywhere, and you just like, well, I have this CD and a bunch of other people have this CD, but like this, if like the 100 of these they sold were lost, then that's just lost. And that always feels really sad.
It's the kind of thing of like, so much, because when movies were coming in, they would just, that's just trash, it's junk, it's bullshit. So they just like chuck away or destroy a bunch of old like movies, and so much art has been lost.
That's why there's loads of lost silent films, and why there's loads of missing. Well, one of the many reasons why there's missing Doctor Who episodes. Yeah, because they just didn't think anyone would give a shit.
We're getting sad again. Let's talk about nipples.
I regret throwing that away. To be fair,
you threw your nipples away.
Yeah.
You didn't want them no more.
I didn't need them.
You were like, these naughty
things.
pepperonis, and that's no good. I'm gonna chuck them in the bin. You get slutty pepperonis, just chuck them away.
Read the next question.
All right. Jules, question for Snipe.
Hi, Jules. I'm listening to your question.
Have they gotten around to listening to season 5 of the Magnus Archives?
Nope.
Cool.
Sorry, I have not yet. I really want to know what happens, but
what are you up to so far?
Season 4, probably. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Spotify knows, and that's all I need.
Okay, fair enough.
My executive dysfunction has been severe. So I haven't yet, but thank you very much for your interest.
All right, next question. Okay, so Dr. Mog.
Hello, Dr. Mog.
This question, I feel like, in the nicest possible way to you, Dr. Mog, and I mean no offence, but it doesn't really need an answer. But we'll read it. We'll see what you say.
Okay.
Snipe. Star Wars question for Snipe.
Okay, yes.
Although, I will preface it by saying that the last piece of Star Wars media I watched was a non-English dubbed version of one of the prequels.
That sounds hilarious.
Okay. It could be hilarious. Would you acquire or purchase one or more life-size replica of a Star Wars warrior or Mandalorian? And if so, who?
Do we mean like a suit of suit of armor? Like
interpret it how you will.
So,
I'm not sure if they're taking the piss. To be honest.
Okay, well, how do you think it should be interpreted? Right. Do I want to rent one of Pedro's stunt doubles or something? If they've got an OnlyFans. Jesus Christ. Or do I want like a standee? Because I already have a mini
you just want one of those
celebrated Chilean.
Would you have a life-size one of those standees?
Just of Pedro Pascal.
That, but bigger.
Well, him as Din specifically. Him in his
the thing is, all of
outfit.
the promotional images aren't him.
That's true.
Because it costs too much for him to just stand there and just not do anything.
Just get someone
He's
who's
got
the
his
same
face
shape as
covered,
him.
so they get one of his two stuntmen or whatever to just come stand there and who were very talented actually.
Standing there.
Well, no, they do. He was in the suit the whole time in the first episode, but they were sporadically throughout there. And in the second season, he was in the suit a lot more often. But I mean, you could tell because of that butt. That Wib and I both zeroed in on because he gets knocked off the Jawa thing, and because he's climbing up. And I was watching it with our friend.
Do we know that it is Pedro Pascal in that scene,
Pretty
or
sure.
is it one of his stuntmen who we are admiring the arse of?
Either whoever's butt that is, damn.
Yeah, damn.
Boy got cake. Very nice. Well, would it be like a real doll kind of? Okay, not for a sex thing.
But also that.
But I mean, yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay. Let's put this another way.
Okay.
Do you like the Mandalorian?
It's okay.
It is a life-size replica, so it is simple. Think of it as a giant-sized action figure. Functionally.
Okay.
You okay then?
What kind of action?
Reciprocating.
Yes. Well, I would. Okay, if I could have, I would have I would have Babuya, I would have Boba Fett, and I would also have Din.
Yeah, because you just like Mandalorians.
I just like Mandalorians.
This is a really long path we went down to just answer with. You just want what we all know, which is that you want a full-size Mandalorian costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally for Christmas, Longfang and I got you
the Black Series Mandalorian helmet.
Yeah, Mandalorian.
Which I didn't take off for like a week.
Yeah.
And I kept sending pictures to my friends, being like, "Hey, I got my hair cut. Do you want to see?" And then I sent one to you, and you were like, I swear to God, if you sent a picture of you in that helmet, and I sent it to you before you'd finished typing.
Yeah. Wasn't that where you were also wearing the cowboy hat on top of it, which is what your Twitter icon is now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I regret nothing.
Yeah.
But yes, I would like that, and then I would like to give them hugs. Because I just think it would be nice to hug a Mandalorian, because all of them are miserable bastards.
Yeah, pretty much.
And especially,
Sabine's not so miserable most of the time.
Most of the time.
Hey, she's got some shit. She's got some shit in her
Don't
past.
we all? But yeah, no. I think everyone in Star Wars needs a hug.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Except for Jabba the Hutt, because he's a fucking twat. Shock horror. Someone's going to cancel me on Twitter for my hot take. Yes!
Oh, I'm so upset I didn't make that joke. That's what I regret the most.
That's what you wish you could buy back.
That's what you wish you hadn't thrown away, was that opportunity.
Threw away that chance.
You did. But no, I'd like...
My one shot.
Yes. But yeah, so that was a hard question, Dr. Mog, but thank you.
All right. A question to all three of us, also from Dr. Mog. If you were captured by Zogrod Wartsnagger, and he intended to turn you into a squig, but he gave you the choice of what kind of squig...
Hair squig.
That was my answer. Fuck off. I haven't answered the question.
I'll be a merkin squig.
Okay, specifically. Well, to finish the question, what kind of squig would you like to be?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say hair squig because you've forbidden it. Chest hair squig.
Those are just the same thing.
Yeah, but you put them on your chest. Completely different.
In fact, can I be a chest hair squig? Because sounds quite fun living on people's chests sometimes.
Because you're a slut.
Yeah. No, squid.
Squid? What? Squig.
Squig. Hair squig version of me would be a slut, yes.
It would be like a triangle of carpet some orc just glues to his tits.
I want to be a squidgen.
A squidgen?
Yeah.
I want to be a squarren.
The pigeon squigs. Because I just like saying the word squidgen.
Well, I want to be one of the ones...
If you were a squidgen, could you say the word squidgen?
Probably not, but I'd be thinking it the whole time.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what pigeons do. That's why their heads go pigeon, 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 pigeon.
Ask
pigeon.
a question. I don't want to go any further down
I
this
want
path.
I want to be a squig parrot or a hair squig.
Okay.
Or no, I want to be a squig parrot that could be used as a hair squig.
You can't multi-class.
Dr. Mog didn't say I could multiclass.
I'm saying it.
I hate you. Okay, I'll just shout I'm a hair squig as a parrot squig.
Okay, that would be acceptable.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, next up we have Technician Sourwell with an oddly specific and irrelevant question.
Okay, hello, Sourwell.
Hi. There's a slave giant called Krog the Blind.
What?
He's only mentioned in a small lore blip in an issue of White Dwarf, which says, the tyrant who captured him had Krog's single eye put out with a red-hot spear. So my question is, do you think Krog was a cyclopic giant, or was he already missing the eye?
That is a very specific question. I would say that if you are going to enslave a big giant, why would you blind it fully? I mean, why would you? I mean, slavery notwithstanding, because let's be honest, that's a little shit.
Bit shit.
It's a bit shit. Why would you fully blind something that you probably want for construction, maybe? You know, or if it's for attack or whatever, then you don't, because it's just going to go and start swinging around. You don't want it to accidentally swing and hit your own dudes.
No.
I am going to say that he was a cyclopean giant based on nothing.
Based on the fact you just wanted to say cyclopean because it means something different in Lovecraft language.
Well, it just means big.
Big. Yeah, but also...
big like a cyclops. And
That's
the thing of it
fucking
being
stupid.
a single eye thing is more of a later thing. So when you read it in old things and they say cyclopean, they generally mean big.
Hence encyclopean.
But yes, I know nothing of this thing. I have not read a new White Dwarf in a long time, so I have no idea.
I've
May
read...
or may not be new, but yeah.
I read them all the time.
I have not read an issue of White Dwarf that wasn't from 1995 in a long time. So I'm sorry that we cannot give a more in-depth.
Well, no, I read them
on
every
this.
week or month whenever they're released. And yeah, no, he obviously had 3 eyes and got poked one out. Just the middle poked out. Because the guy
He's got two eyes.
So he's got 2 eyes,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, it's not now. It's just, I read it all the time.
Oh yeah, you do.
I
you
love
do.
that magazine and read them all the time.
You read them all of the time.
Reading them now.
We can't move for you tripping over new issues of White Dwarf that we definitely have.
They literally, they have started manifesting.
Okay, well,
in my home.
on a similar topic to that, buying and reading and consuming new GW stuff. Our very last question.
Yes.
Okay.
Mountain Man Jeremiah.
Very good name. Hello, Mountain Man Jeremiah.
I haven't bought GW stuff since the summer, and I've been listening to a lot of people's opinions and perspectives on the whole thing that's going on. But if you don't mind answering, what are your thoughts about how GW is treating creators and the whole boycott surrounding that?
I wish I'd prepared a statement.
I mean, it sucks what they did, but it makes sense because they're part of a capitalist economy, and the way copyright works is such that you have to protect it in fairly hawkish ways.
Yeah, and if
If you don't, then it's garbage.
you lose everything.
Yeah, so it makes sense that they did what they did, but it still sucks, and they could have gone about it in a less dickish way.
But at the end of the day, they are a company, and I guess you can't really expect them to give that much of a shit. Which it does suck, because they control a lot of things that we love, but...
And a boycott is, I think, kind of pointless in a way of making them change what they're going to do, because they aren't, because they're working on how the market and how everything, our entire economic system is geared to make them behave the way they are, and a boycott isn't going to change that unless most of the people who buy it do. However, if you personally are just going to boycott them because you do not morally feel that you can support them, that's fine. That's perfectly valid.
Yeah, no,
if you
good on
it.
you. If that is, but also, if you do it or if you don't do it, we're not going to think more or less of you.
But you ain't changing what they're going to do. Yeah. they're going to do what they're going to do, because this is just the economy we live in. And yeah. It sucks, but you know.
Capitalism.
Yeah.
More like crapitalism, am I right?
It is what it is.
I'm forcibly removed from the podcast.
So yeah, it sucks. Can't really do much about it. And it's up to you to decide what your level of comfort is in engaging with them, as opposed to what their actions are.
Because remember, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. So,
whatever company you support is probably going to be bad. So,
Yeah, but also you have to live.
Yeah.
And man cannot live on bread alone. Sometimes you got to get that ass. And man can't live on ass alone. So, sometimes they need boobs. Regardless of gender. Or cuddles. Cuddles are good.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, go get a cuddle.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to end that. Yeah.
That's just in general. If you if you're feeling just go get a hug.
Yeah. Because it's one of those subjects where there's always more you can say, always more perspectives you can give. But at the end of the day, it is just what it is.
Yeah.
And
And of course, we're not saying that that's the be-all and end-all. We haven't had time to prepare a statement.
Yeah, this is off the cuff talking about it, not like, we sat down and scripted out and decided to intricately pick through every nuance of perspective. But so yeah.
But yeah, so thank you very much for all the questions. Next time, please send in Star Wars questions like, if you had to do big kissing with Din Djarin and, I don't know, Sabine Wren, who would you pick? And then I'd probably pick both because they're both kind of awesome.
Isn't Sabine Wren like a teenager?
Oh, I definitely a few years down the line, don't worry.
Okay.
This is the whole kind of aging up to my age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and everyone's okay with that.
That's feels like you're just finding a way to dig yourself out of a hole there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am, because I forgot that she was a fucking teenager. Now I feel like a scumbag, so sorry. Maybe I was a libertarian the whole time.
The libertarian was the friends you made along the way.
No, it wasn't. It was the taxes you didn't pay along the way.
Oh, okay.
And also, if I've made you mad with that, chill out. Just fucking...
And leave a comment.
Leave an angry comment.
Leave an angry comment. Leave several comments. Just leave all the comments if you want. Leave comments on everything and do all the engagement.
Subscribe, like, and comment.
Subscribe, like, and comment.
Like and comment. Don't forget to subscribe.
Get really deep in and tickle that bell, just to prove how much you disagree with us about whatever we said. I forget what we said.
Anytime I think I'm going to piss someone off, it's like no one cares. But then I'm like, I love blueberry muffins. And they're like, listen here, you fucking bitch. I'm going to fucking find you. And I'm like,
That is the internet. That is the internet. You put forth something and you go, I think people are going to be mad at that. And then just no one cares. And then you say something really casually. And then people get so mad at you. And you're like, what happened?
If you think I'm wrong about blueberry muffins, please leave a comment below.
Engagement. Anyway, this is the end of the podcast.
Yeah, you should go home. I don't know why you'd be like, I need to listen to the podcast, time to go stand in a field.
I mean, I listen to podcasts while out walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when was the last time you went out walking?
A while ago now. But it has been around Christmas and it's been cold.
No, it hasn't. It's been hoodie weather.
And every time I've been out, it's been with you.
Sorry?
So next time you go out, just put your headphones in and just...
refuse to speak to me.
He's going to blank you.
Yeah. But listen to you on the podcast, though.
Listen to our podcast while I'm literally next to you.
I'm not listening to our podcast, it's shit.
It's not.
We do these whole bits at the end of it where we just kind of just aimlessly grasping for where the end of the episode is going to happen.
Somewhere, we'll find it eventually.
No, I was just... Okay, is that what you guys have been doing? Because I've just been enjoying having like an honest-to-God conversation.
I meant at the end of them, when we don't really know how to end our podcasts.
I know how to end podcasts.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Okay, everyone. Goodbye. Okay, wait, no, you got to drink some water.
That wasn't a segue. That was just ending. That's not a natural end to it. Like, you want to have like a nice segue into it, like a smooth ramp up, a nice conclusion to offer for the experience.
So, like, you want to
callback would be nice.
Slather yourself in some Vaseline.
There we go.
And
have some Snantric Snex.
Yes, and maybe afterwards have a snarse of Snorter.
Oh no, that was too far.
What was it?
That was too far. Yeah. That was too far. And on that note, we're going to go. So goodbye. Don't be like us. Goodbye.